Of course, today, while we await a call, our topic that we're prepared to talk about, and one a little close to me, because folks remember me hobbling around here on crutches with a broken knee recently. What do you do when you get hurt at a store?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that people go shopping at a store, they're walking around in the store, they slip, they fall on something an employee may have left, and then they're trying to deal with their medical bills, they're trying to deal with their pain, hobbling around, and what do? A store owner has a duty to keep the premises in a safe condition and to warn you of hazards that they knew about, should have known about, or that they created. So if you fall, it's a really, really good idea to talk with an attorney because those cases get complicated in a hurry.
Is there any kind of evidence that you should kind of gather? I don't know if there's pictures or anything that you should do before talking to an attorney? One
of the things that I do, most stores now, the big box stores and the stores that you go and have closed circuit television, which will film or video somebody falling. And one of the things that I always do is immediately send a letter, contact the store, say retain those videos because they're only really good for 30 days and then the camera turns over again. So you got to be really careful because evidence is like water. It evaporates. And once it's gone, you're going to have a very difficult time, trying to prove your claim.
So Heath, we're talking about inside the store. Is there any difference if you get hurt outside the store, on the store property, but still not in the actual physical inside of the store?
That's an excellent question. I've handled several cases like that. Oftentimes, the store itself won't own the parking lot or won't own the sidewalk. They won't own the building. They'll just be leasing a building from another property owner that also has a responsibility to keep that parking lot safe or that sidewalk safe. But that doesn't mean that the actual store owner is absolved of responsibility too. So oftentimes you have two different entities that are both responsible for the same injury,
right.
And folks don't even know. They think, this is all just one store, but sometimes you have multiple owners.
Oh, wow.
Let's go ahead and head to our phone lines. We have Robert on the line. Robert, go ahead with your question.
Yes, I have a property, small property, and I want to survey a little section off and give it to a friend. Is that possible? Or how would I go about doing that?
Well, in that kind of scenario, what you probably need to do, very first thing you need to do is you'll need to contact a surveyor, a local surveyor in the area that will survey out that particular piece of property that you want to give to a friend. And then once you get that property, and what the surveyor will do is once that property is removed from the larger piece, then you will actually get a description of that can be filed with the probate court, and then you'll have two different pieces of property there. Sometimes what the surveyor will do will tell you to talk to an attorney that does land use work, and you can get an actual new description of that piece of property, and then you can give it to your friend. Oftentimes it's a good idea, instead of giving it to them, to sell it to them for $1 or to quit claim deed it, but that's something you probably need to talk to a land use lawyer about that can help you through that process.
Well, we do have another caller on the line right now, Heath. Chris, do you have a question you'd like to ask?
Yes. I'm a tenant, and my ceiling for the last, I guess, year and a half, 2 years has been shedding onto everything. My house is covered in dust, and it has affected my health.
Mm-hmm.
My skin has fallen off. Okay. Do I have any recourse? It's a popcorn ceiling. I guess they stopped using that material years ago.
You may have a recourse. The state of Alabama has a landlord-tenant law that is specifically passed to address those kinds of issues. And a landlord in the state of Alabama has a duty to maintain the safe premises for you to live in. And so one of the things that you can do is you can specifically in writing ask your landlord to correct that problem. If it's something that's detrimental to your health and creates an unsafe environment for you, then you may be able to get out of your actual lease. The harder problem you have is if this is a situation where you actually have an injury, pursuing an action against your landlord for that injury could be difficult. But talk to a lawyer. I'm happy to answer that question, but it would be a landlord-tenant law issue, and there are some help you can get.
Well, thank you very much. And if you didn't get your questions answered, you can always call our friends over at Timberlake and Lee. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Heath.